Tyrese was on there.
I'm so glad Tyrese ain't got no money to sue me right now.
And Charlie Mack was on there with Will. And allegedly, I would appear to be Tyrese with Will and Jada. Then the one with Charlie Mack and Will, Jada's not on it, but you can hear her say, make him spit up, period. So when these tapes come out, people will know I'm telling the absolute truth.
I was just like, I didn't know what to do, but I just knew. I was like, I never wanted to be married.
She's trying to embarrass him into divorcing her.
We sat down with Will and had a conversation. He gave me his blessing, and I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life.
By now, everyone knows Will and Jada's marriage has never been the usual kind. It's been wild from the start. Jada herself even admitted she stepped out of the marriage, calling it an entanglement. But according to brother Bilaal, that confession barely scratched the surface. He's claiming there's a whole list of men she's been involved with, and apparently the names on that list are way more familiar than anyone could imagine. It's not just some random rumors either. Bilaal says these were high-profile faces, the kind that would shock Hollywood if the truth really came out. And here's where things get intense. One of the first names he dropped was actor Alfonso Ribeiro. If brother Bilaal's story is true, then what allegedly went down between him and Jada behind closed doors wasn't just wild.
But I saw some of the video. Mind you, when Jada at the house...
Any of them allegedly MC Light?
Yes, yes. Why didn't you let me say that?
Oh, goodness. Like inviting Piggy that her and MC Light kind of had something going on, and they used Will and MC Light's husband to cover it up.
It was downright disturbing. The way he describes it makes the situation sound way darker than anyone expected. Brother Bilaal isn't holding back. He's saying Tyrese was tangled up with Jada while she was still married to Will. He even claims there are recordings that prove everything he's saying. According to him, once those tapes see the light of day, nobody will be able to say he's lying anymore. But that's not all. He dropped another shocking name, Charlie Mack. Bilaal insists Charlie's connection to Jada wasn't just talk or gossip. He says that even when Jada wasn't physically in the room, she was still present, giving instructions and telling the men exactly what to do to each other. It's the kind of claim that makes you question everything we thought we knew about their circle. And then comes Briar Gray. Bilaal says Jada's relationship with him went way beyond whispers or Hollywood chatter. He claims there's actual legal paperwork, including a mutual NDA, to prove how deep it went. That's when things supposedly turned serious. Once that NDA started looking risky, Bilaal says the push to keep Briar quiet got real intense real fast.
And then we had a lady that came to sit on the show that said she saw MC Light and Jada, a known gay club for lesbians in Hollywood all the time.
So let me just put it like this, because the tapes are going to surface. The tapes are going to surface.
I don't want to watch them.
Oh, no, nah, listen. Yeah, that's right. That's right. The tapes are, that's why they reported it stolen, but they didn't report me as the thief, right? But now let me tell you how I saw the tapes.
Brother Bilaal isn't just talking, he's backing it up with serious action. He filed official court documents under penalty of perjury, saying he's ready to face jail time if even a single claim he made turns out to be false. That's a bold move. Bilaal swears this isn't about fame or payback. He says it's about truth and about how Will got humiliated in front of the whole world, while behind the scenes, people were working overtime to protect Jada's image. According to him, what the public saw was only one entanglement. But in reality, behind closed doors, there was a whole lot more going on. Bilaal claims Jada was linked with multiple men during a marriage, and these weren't just random names. He says they were well-known figures from the entertainment world. He insists the reason this story keeps getting buried is simple. There are too many powerful people involved who don't want it coming to light. Whether folks believe him or not, Bilaal says this wasn't some one-time mistake. It was a full-blown pattern. Now that the court filings, discovery, and sworn statements are all in motion, Brother Bilaal believes the truth is finally on its way out, whether anyone's ready for it or not. He's convinced the real story is about to spill wide open, no matter who tries to stop it.
So when Jada's home at Will's house, not her other house, she allegedly has her wine. She has her something called Tushi. It's like a pink thing. It's popular in Colombia as well too. But it's like it's like that mix, right? It's big in Colombia, right? And she got her ayahuasca, whatever it is, and she got her mushrooms. So she got her psychedelics always.
One of Jada's biggest scandals hit right in front of the world during Red Table Talk. That moment when she sat across from Will and actually said out loud what everyone had been whispering about for years. It shook the internet. She admitted she had been in a relationship, something she tried to play down by calling it an entanglement. And that entanglement? It was none other than R&B singer August Alsina, while she was still married to Will. The tension in that room was unforgettable, and fans couldn't believe she confessed it on camera. That Red Table Talk episode blew up the internet. Over 15 million views in just 24 hours. People were stunned. Will looked completely shattered, while Jada stayed calm and collected, almost like she'd already made peace with the chaos. That's when the world realized their marriage wasn't the perfect love story everyone thought it was. It was something much messier.
From there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
An entanglement?
Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship, absolutely.
Jada first met August Alsina back in 2015 when he was just 22 years old. They met at one of Willow and Jaden's concerts, and things took a turn from there. At that time, August was struggling hard, physically, mentally, and emotionally. He later shared that he developed a serious addiction to painkillers after collapsing on stage during a show. According to Jada, he reached out to her for help, looking for guidance and support to get his life together. But that's where the line between helping and something deeper started to blur. In a radio interview, August said he deeply loved Jada and gave her years of his life, his full heart. He said he had no regrets about telling the truth, no matter how messy it got.
I've heard they do not have a prenuptial agreement. If that is true, that Will does not have a prenuptial agreement, that helps to understand everything that's transpiring.
That's when Will and Jada went public about being privately separated, trying to spin it as part of their personal growth. But here's the kicker. While Jada denied August's claim that Will approved of the relationship, she never denied that the relationship itself happened. When the August Alsina story first dropped, everyone was caught up in the shock of it all. The internet went wild. But comedian D.L. Hughley saw it from a totally different angle, and what he noticed left him deeply uneasy. He didn't just see drama, he saw something that, in his words, looked almost predatory. That's why for him, the whole August situation didn't just blur the line, it completely crossed it. And it wasn't just about age. DL pointed out it was the circumstances that made it feel off. He broke it down.
I believe the reason he's still with her at this point is to safeguard his estate, which he should. And I think the reason why she's being so disrespectful, blatantly disrespectful, bringing up Tupac's proposal, why is that coming up now? Saying Chris Rock tried to hit on her. Why is that being said to the public after this man and your husband got into an altercation at the Emmys? From what it looks like on the outside looking in, and I have nothing against Jada at all. Obviously, I'm a Will Smith fan.
There was fame, money, influence, and emotional control all wrapped into one complicated dynamic. Jada had power, status, and experience, while August was in a fragile state, barely holding himself together. DL said that kind of power imbalance can be dangerous. He didn't hold back. He said straight up that if the roles were reversed and a man in Jada's position had done the same thing to a younger woman, the public reaction would have been absolutely ruthless. Comedian Luell didn't stay silent either. She spoke up and echoed many of the same concerns others had. She made it clear that August wasn't out here trying to snitch or start drama. In her words, he was a hurt man. And when a man gets hurt that deeply, it can break him in ways people don't always take seriously.
Only actor in American history to garner 10 consecutive #1 box office hits. Nobody has ever done that, not even Denzel. Will Smith is the only actor to do that in American history. And on top of that, he's the first rapper to win a Grammy.
Luell now reminded everyone that August was already in a fragile state before any romance even began. He'd been dealing with serious health struggles, the loss of loved ones, and deep emotional wounds with no real sense of stability in his life. And instead of being guided toward proper help or healing, he ended up in a complicated romantic mess with a married woman who had way more power, money, and security than he did. She didn't hold back when questioning Jada's role as a mentor either. Luell said, if you take on the position of helping someone heal, then your actions should actually help them, not pull them into more confusion and pain. You just don't cross that line. You don't mix emotional support with romance, especially when the other person is clearly struggling to keep it together.
So she's sitting down here watching, playing with herself, and high as a kite, right? Not caring who's in the house, whether kids watching, nothing. She's in her own world. So that's how I was able to see the tapes. This is why she think I saw them, and I saw some things that were unreal, and I saw celebrities on the tape.
Ooh.
That kind of boundary breaking can cause damage that's hard to come back from. Both D.L. Hughley and Luell were on the same page about one thing. The public's reaction would have been completely different if Will had done the exact same thing under the same circumstances. They believe the double standard is obvious, and the truth would have hit way harder if the roles were flipped. Then there's Dr. Umar, who's got his own take on the whole Will and Jada situation, and he says it's not about love anymore. According to him, from everything he's heard, there's no prenuptial agreement between them. And if that's true, it could explain a lot of what's going on. Dr. Umar claims Jada's ready to leave the marriage, but she doesn't plan on walking away empty-handed. He believes every move being made now is part of a much bigger plan. Dr. Umar says both Will and Jada probably feel justified in their actions, but where he really turns critical is in how he believes Jada is handling things. He claims that instead of leaving straight up, she's been applying pressure in public. Every awkward moment, every revealing comment, every situation that leaves Will looking uncomfortable. He says none of that is random.
And in that video, he is begging her to stop, right? And she's telling him to shut up, right? And on that video, Jada had on Timberlands and a fitted baseball cap with the strap on them, right? And the reason why she got so much hate for Alfonso Rivera is because they dated way before. I'm not even gonna say dated, went it out a couple of times together, right? And allegedly something must have happened because Alfonso always had money.
According to him, it's all part of a calculated tactic meant to make things unbearable without ever having to walk away first. And when people talk about Jada Pinkett Smith's supposed lack of boundaries, a lot of them point to her more recent behavior. But some believe that pattern didn't just appear overnight. They say it goes way back, all the way to the very start of her relationship with Will. From the outside, it looks like the same cycle has been repeating itself for years. From the start, insiders say Jada's energy around Will was intense, almost like she was torn between love and control. Even back in the early days of their relationship, some close friends claim there were constant power shifts, emotional games, and moments where Jada seemed to call every shot.
I'm there, we're trying to talk through our problems at his birthday party. Me and Will are together trying to talk to all this stuff that's going on, this alleged hard drive that they think I have with all these people in it, me potentially about to sue, me about to expose the mutual NDA that I have with Bashir Gray.
While Will was chasing her heart, she was setting the tone, deciding how close or distant things would be. People around him noticed it wasn't your usual Hollywood romance. Jada was open about still holding feelings for Tupac, and that alone caused tension that never fully disappeared. Will, on the other hand, was said to be constantly trying to prove himself, trying to be enough for a woman who seemed impossible to satisfy.
It's unfortunate what's going on because on the one hand, you have a man who doesn't want to get took to the cleaners by a woman who really didn't help him build his brand or his name. And on the other hand, you have a woman who says to herself, arguably, I gave you 2 children. I was here for the journey, although I may not have had anything to do directly with your success. I was still your emotional comfort. I was still your wife, your confidant, your partner. And I think she wants out the marriage. And I just think she's going at it in a very dysfunctional way. I think she's trying to embarrass him into divorcing her.
Over time, that dynamic only got more complicated. The fame, the spotlight, and the secrets all started to blur together until no one really knew what was real anymore. Some say Jada's sense of power grew stronger the more public attention she got, while Will's confidence quietly faded behind the scenes. And now, years later, it's like everything that started small back then is finally boiling over for the world to see. Those close to the couple say the turning point came when the spotlight on their marriage became bigger than the marriage itself. What used to be private struggles turned into public entertainment, and Jada seemed to lean into it. Every interview, every cryptic quote, every headline kept her name trending, while Will looked like he was slowly fading into the background.
Where they were being interviewed and someone said something to the effect of marriage or divorce. I forget the question or the comment, but Jada responded by saying, quote, "It's cheaper to keep her." I think they said, "Why are you two still together?" And it was in a joking way. They weren't being, there was no animosity. They were not being adversarial. It wasn't even a serious conversation. It was very laid back and relaxed in a joking dialogue. But the person said, "Why are you guys still together?"
Sources claim that Jada's openness about her journey wasn't just about self-healing, it was strategy. The more she shared, the more control she had over the story. But that control came at a cost. Will was left standing there holding the image of a happy husband while his private world was falling apart right in front of millions of people. And when those emotional red table talk moments hit the internet, the tone changed forever. Fans started seeing Will as the one taking hit after hit, while Jada's cool, composed attitude made it look like she was untouchable. Behind the scenes, though, insiders say that
Jada Pinkett Smith's response was, "It's cheaper to keep her." He didn't say that. She said it. And I think that speaks to the fact that there was no prenuptial agreement.
Wow, man. So you think she's making all these comments intentionally hoping that he'll divorce her?
Absolutely. If you're not going to let me out of this marriage and give me half of what I feel I'm entitled to, because that's, the American way, women get half of the man's estate, even if they didn't help him build it. And no disrespect to Jada, there's a very strong possibility that she helped Will get to where he is.
tension between them was explosive. Years of pain, pride, and power struggles finally catching up. It wasn't just a marriage anymore. It was a battle for who would walk away with their legacy intact. Insiders say that behind closed doors, things between Will and Jada reached a point of no return. What used to be quiet arguments reportedly turned into long, icy silences and power plays that went far beyond love. People close to them said the energy in their home was tense, like two people living under the same roof but on completely different planets. Jada started focusing more on her personal projects and public image, while Will tried to hold on to the family's reputation. But according to some, that balance was impossible to keep. Every time Jada dropped a new revelation and made a bold comment, Will had to do damage control just to keep things from spinning out of control. It was like he was fighting a losing battle.
So this was after my interview.
This was way before you. And so we've been going on for
Because I remember, because she said, Jada Pinkett Smith specifically said in the Breakfast Club interview, you recall her words, that there's been some legal back and forth.
Yeah, we tried to work it out.
And you have text messages here from Joel asking if Charlie wants to talk to you.
Oh, this is late. Oh, see, it's so much information.
Do a three-way call. I downloaded WhatsApp again. So go ahead.
Okay.
And then came the moment everyone remembers, the Oscars incident. That single night showed the world how much pressure had been building inside Will. For many, that slap wasn't just about a joke. It was the result of years of bottled up emotions, frustration, and embarrassment. After that, everything changed. The smiles, the interviews, the perfect couple image, it all started to crack, and the truth about their broken bond couldn't be hidden anymore. After the Oscars chaos, the world couldn't stop talking. Suddenly, everyone wanted to know what was really going on behind the Smiths' mansion gates. While Will tried to rebuild his image, Jada seemed to move differently, staying calm while the storm kept circling around him. Insiders said that moment didn't just shake their marriage, it exposed everything that had been brewing for years.
So he invited me to his birthday party in King Richard premiere. It was a private screening. And at this, and this is inside the legal paperwork, of the civil harassment lawsuit against Jada. So she comes up to me, put her finger right in my face where her nail, right? And told me that I better stop telling her business, keep my mouth shut, or I was going to catch a bullet and a beat down.
Reports started surfacing that Will felt abandoned, like he took the fall while Jada stayed silent when things got messy. Friends close to him claimed he expected her to speak up for him publicly, but she never did. That silence spoke louder than any words, leaving fans wondering if she'd already checked out emotionally long before that night. Meanwhile, Jada continued dropping cryptic comments in interviews, hinting that their marriage had been over for years, even though they still appeared together. Every time she spoke, the internet lit up again. Memes, debates, think pieces, everyone had an opinion. But according to people who know them, the love they once had turned into a complicated mix of resentment and survival.
I really can't see how, because he was always talented. I remember going to a Will Smith concert right here in Philadelphia, down at the Spectrum. It was Will Smith, New Edition was the headliners. It was Will Smith, Jazzy Jeff, San Shantae, UTFO. I was a young blood back then. And I still remember Will when he was a rapper on stage. And once he went to Fresh Prince and then Independence Day and all those movies he was just a hit. The man was a hit. Every movie he put out, garnered billions of dollars at the box office. So
what used to be Hollywood's power couple now looked like two people trapped in a story neither of them knew how to end. As time went on, the divide between Will and Jada only grew wider, emotionally, spiritually, and even publicly. Insiders say they were living separate lives while still pretending to be united for the cameras. Every red carpet appearance felt more like an act than a partnership. Behind those smiles, there was distance, tension, and quiet resentment that no amount of fame could fix. Jada started leaning deeper into her own narrative, writing books, doing interviews, and owning her story in ways that left people questioning her motives. Was it empowerment or was it control? Every new revelation seemed to drag Will back into the spotlight, even when he was trying to move forward.
But again, I want to be respectful to her. That's a marriage. There's some things behind the scenes that we don't know about where she could probably argue that she played a significant role, in his development as an actor. I don't know. Or as a businessman. But from the outside looking in as a Philadelphian, I don't see that. And I really just feel it's a situation where he's not going to give up half of what he has, and she's going to continue to antagonize him with the belief that if she gets on his nerves enough, he might let her out of the arrangement.
The man who once symbolized strength and composure was suddenly painted as fragile and broken, and Jada's calm responses only added fuel to that image. Meanwhile, those close to Will said he was tired of being the good guy while constantly feeling exposed. He wanted peace, but peace was nowhere to be found, not with the world dissecting every move they made. What was once a love story had turned into a public chess game, and both of them were trying to win without realizing the board itself was already falling apart. By this point, people weren't just gossiping, they were analyzing every word, every look, every interview from Will and Jada. What started as curiosity had turned into a full-on obsession. Fans were taking sides, dissecting old clips, and trying to piece together who was really at fault.
So we talked about that one incident. We talked about the her being embarrassed about the Tasha K interview that went viral globally. Okay. So that's one thing. Then Charlie Mack contacted my friend saying that Will and Jada wanted to pay me to write a retraction, and then him sending the retraction over to my friend, right?
And you said?
I said, no, I'm not going to do it. They were ready to pay me the money in 24.
But insiders say the truth is way more complicated than anyone online could guess. Will, according to those who've worked with him, still has deep love for Jada, but that love comes with years of emotional bruises. He's reportedly torn between loyalty and self-respect, trying to figure out where one ends and the other begins. Friends claim he's been quietly reflecting, pulling away from the spotlight to protect what's left of his peace. Meanwhile, Jada continues to stand firm in her truth, unapologetic and unbothered by public criticism. Some see her as bold for owning her story, while others think she's gone too far, revealing things that should have stayed private. Either way, both of them have become symbols of how messy real relationships can get when fame, pride, and pain collide. What used to be a Hollywood fairy tale now feels more like a cautionary story, and the ending still hasn't been written.
Within 1 year, it is my belief that Will and Jada will be involved with a sexual case on a criminal level. And I'm gonna say that once again, just so everybody clear. Once I finish the lawsuit and once I finish this civil harassment thing with Jada, getting all the discovery, all the interrogatories and giving them to the federal government, and then also giving it to the assistant attorney general, somebody's going to jail.
Now, with years of tension and countless headlines behind them, it feels like Will and Jada's story has reached its breaking point. What once looked like a power couple has turned into two people trying to rebuild themselves from the wreckage of a love that played out in public view. Every interview, every statement, every quiet pause between them says more than words ever could. Insiders claim Will has been doing deep inner work, therapy, reflection, and spiritual healing to find his sense of self again. He's reportedly focused on forgiveness, not just for Jada, but for himself, trying to reclaim the peace that fame and heartbreak stripped away. It's said he no longer wants to fight or explain. He just wants freedom from the drama that's followed him for years. As for Jada, she continues to speak her truth boldly, standing firm in her choices and refusing to apologize for how she's lived her life. But even her strongest supporters admit the public's patience is wearing thin. The world has watched this marriage unravel in slow motion, and now everyone's wondering, will they finally go their separate ways for good, or try one last time to turn all that pain into something healing? Lately, rumors have been swirling that Will and Jada are finally preparing to make a permanent move, emotionally and legally. Insiders say private talks have been happening quietly behind the scenes, away from the media frenzy. They're reportedly sorting through finances, properties, and what to do about the brand they built together over decades. For a couple that once defined Hollywood power, the possible end of their union feels surreal.
Really didn't want to get married, but
We only got married because Gammy was crying.
I was under so much pressure, you know, being a young actress, being young, and I was like pregnant. I was just like, I didn't know what to do, but I just knew. I was like, I never wanted to be married.
Sources close to Will say he's at peace with whatever comes next. After years of trying to fix what was broken, he's realized some things can't be repaired, only released. He's said to be focusing on his career, his kids, and rediscovering who he is when the cameras aren't rolling. Meanwhile, Jada seems to be embracing her independence more than ever, hosting new projects, giving talks, and showing the world she's standing tall, no matter what people say. But even as she moves forward, the shadow of her marriage still follows her everywhere she goes. Fans can't stop watching, wondering if this is truly the end, or just another pause before the next chapter in their complicated story begins. Whatever happens next, one thing's clear. The Smith legacy will never be seen the same again. Yes, Will and Jada were married for over 20 years, but what people often forget is how it all started. When their relationship began, Will was still legally married to his first wife, Cherie Zampino. That detail alone changes how many see the story, because it means things were already complicated before they even said, "I do." Even Jada's own mother once admitted she wasn't sure it was the right move. And Jada herself has been open about the fact that she never really wanted to get married in the first place. She revealed that the only reason she went through with it was because she became pregnant. And that truth hit fans harder than almost anything she's ever confessed. For a lot of people, that revelation changed everything. The marriage everyone once called ride or die suddenly looked more like a situation built out of obligation instead of choice. And now, with everything that's come out since, many believe Jada's been trying to quietly free herself from that commitment for years. So what do you think? Will even more allegations about Jada come to light? Is there still more truth waiting to be exposed? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts, because this story is far from over.